Test one. Check, check, check. Hey guys, if you're at home and you can hear me, we're going to get the meeting started here in just a second. Jody Javera, can you hear me now? You can only hear us when we're talking into a microphone, so we're going to wait for the new guys to come in, but we are live, so we'll get started here in a minute, guys. If you're watching at home and all you see is a Tasso baseball logo on your screen, that is 100% okay. It's called technology. We are here. You can hear me, I know. Jody says he can hear me. So our new guys are coming into the room now, and when we all get settled, we'll get started here in just a couple minutes.
So, okay. Well, I got people telling me to go left. People telling me to go. I've been approved. Okay. All right, we ready? We're streamed? Okay. All right, guys. Welcome back. How many people we got online tonight? Do we know? 8. Okay. All right. First thing, I'm going to let Cody stand up and talk about uniforms for new guys and veterans. So, Cody, you can go ahead. Oh, yep. I wasn't here last week. I was deer hunting. I ain't going to hide it or deny it. My name's Wes Hall. I'm the president for y'all that don't know me. So, deer season's over, so I'm here the rest of the time now. All right, Cody.
All right, so there's 3 different kinds of shirts, essentially. One of them is the very old style. It's black with 2 little white stripes on the side and on the collar. That's the very old shirt. Please don't buy those anymore. There's also a black shirt with the white stripe down the side and a white single stripe around the sleeve. You can buy that one also. Or there's the gray, which the Major League guys are wearing right now, the gray side. That's the new shirt that everybody's going to. So if you're buying one shirt, buy that one. All you older guys, we need to start buying those shirts so we can all look the same. Of course, gray pants. Don't buy the lighter gray. The charcoal gray is the one that we need to buy, not heather gray. That's all I got. The third one is a gray side panel. It has a gray side panel on it. It's black, yes. We all have to wear black. The blue you can have, the powder blue or whatever, but that's just an optional shirt. Most guys don't ever wear it unless you work with Steven. Steven likes to wear blue. So.
All right, hey, did y'all go over board members? Did all the board members introduce themselves last week? All right, you got Cody Nolan, who just talked. You have Kelly Talent sitting back there, which I know people streaming can't see. You got Steven and Jeff up there acting like they know what they're doing. You got Ron Daniels back there. He's the vice president. Who else is? O'Bannon's a big help. He's been here since Jesus started this chapter way back when. Mike Langford's the treasurer. He's the money guy, so he's up top. Okay, tonight we talked in the board meeting. We're going to extend the late fee again. If you think you paid an extra $25 on your dues, get with Mike tonight. We didn't see anybody on there, but that doesn't mean that we didn't miss you. We're going to waive the late fee until February the 15th. Now, that's not state, that's here, just our local chapter. We can't do anything with Tasso as far as the state goes. They make their own rules. So if you think you overpaid in the last couple weeks, get with Mike tonight, and he can get you squared away. Oh. Okay. It's going to take me a minute to get used to this, so it's a different world. Other than that, get your dues paid. If you got a check, take it to Mike tonight. That way we can get you squared away and taken care of. Other than that, Ron, if you want to go ahead. Who's doing training tonight? You? Go ahead.
All right, guys, I don't know if you can tell, but our numbers are way down this year. So if you guys know anybody that wants to umpire, that has umpired and that's sitting out, let's encourage so we can increase our numbers a little bit. We got a lot of games to cover, okay? So what I'm going to talk about tonight is basically we're going to go over the rule changes that came out last year. We're going to discuss the designated hitter rule a little bit, but Jeff is going to really dive into it deep next week. So we'll kind of gloss over it tonight, talk about the rule changes, answer any questions that you guys might have, and then move on from there. So we are using the 2020 rule book, the one that came out last year. We didn't get much of a chance to use it last year, so we're just going to roll on with what they had this year. Ready to go. Slideshow, please. No. Hey, guys. Do I operate this? Right, so one of the big rule changes last year was the designated hitter rule. So we know the old style designated hitter, they can either come up with a 9-person lineup, they can come up with a 10-person lineup, which is somebody listed for whoever they're hitting for. It doesn't have to be the pitcher. That could be a designated hitter for the third baseman, okay? And then the designated hitter will be listed in the 4-hole wherever he is, and then the defensive player will be listed on the bottom of the lineup. So those are the 2 options that we had previously. So the third option we had that came out last year was now they can have the same player be the defensive player / designated hitter in the same lineup in the spot, same spot in the lineup. Okay, so the DH can still be, I'll slow down, the DH can still be the 10th starter hitting for any one of the 9 starting defensive players. We're going to go through this pretty fast, guys. No change with the previous DH rule. When using a standard designated hitter, the role of the DH is still terminated for the remainder of the game when the defensive player for whom the DH batted subsequently bats, pinch hits, or pinch runs. Okay, so the designated hitter, previously, he's terminated when he's hit for. Okay, the starting designated hitter may now be any one of the starting defensive players, including the pitcher. Okay, so it can be the same. Could be pitcher DH, could be third baseman DH, could be first baseman DH, could be the catcher DH. Okay? Okay, so if we have a pitcher DH, let's just do a pitcher. If we've got a pitcher DH and it's the same person, the defensive part of that person can be substituted for. And the guy that was listed, the same, okay, let's do it this way. It's going to come up, it says Daniels up there in the 4-hole. Coincidental. So Daniels is in the 4-hole as the first baseman, DH. But I want to put Cody in at first base. Cody can come in at first base, and Daniels can remain the DH in the 4-hole. Okay? Again, I'm just going to gloss over this. Jeff will dig into it deeper next week. Next. All right, when using that version of the DH rule, so you've got a pitcher DH, or in the previous example, we had a third baseman DH. Anytime that you have offensive substitution for the DH, your DH is terminated. Okay? So you've got a pitcher, you got a first baseman DH. The DH portion of that gets a hit. He's on base. You substitute a pinch runner for him, completely terminates the DH position. Okay? Any questions? Okay. In the previous rule, where you had the 10 people listed on the lineup, you could substitute for that DH, and he remains a DH. Okay, so you have 10 people, you substitute whoever you've got listed in the 4 holes of DH, you keep that DH. Okay, in the new rule, the DH disappears. Okay? Wow, we did gloss over that, didn't we? So the points of emphasis for 2020 that we're pushing forward to this year. Game ending procedures. Usually we've got to do the, 10 after 5? 10 after 5 is the run rule. If the district adopts and allows the coaches to make a change on that before the game, if they know they're going to get blown out, they can say, hey, this is going to be our run rule for today. They're allowed to do that if the district allows them to do that. Okay? Horse? Yep. As long as the coaches agree to it. The question was, how do we know if there's going to be, the district allows that? They'll let you know. Yeah, don't ask about it. Just if they say that our district allows this, it's a district competition. I'm sorry? It has to be announced at the plate meeting, was my understanding of it. Hey, click that back for me, Jeff. by mutual agreement of the opposing coaches and the umpire in chief, any remaining play, you're correct, any remaining play may be shortened or the game terminated. So if the coaches say, hey, we're done with this, as long as both coaches agree, of course the umpire's gonna say, no, you finish it. All right. Okay, so Cody, you're right. We can shorten it if the coaches agree. Now, this is only if their district allows them to make these modifications during the game. Okay? Yeah, non-district, if the coaches come up in the 5th inning and say, or the 4th inning and say, it's 30-0, we got a long drive home, we're gonna go, just nod your head and say, okay. Mm-mm. Is that something that we put in the report in Arbiter at the end of the day? The answer is no. Any other questions about that? All right. Are runners required to slide?
We do need that turned in, just in case a coach goes home and a parent. Let me say something real quick. Hey, do send that in an email, or if you've got a report placed on Arbiter, put that somewhere or jot it down, your memory of that happening. It doesn't even necessarily have to come to us, just in case a coach goes home and gets beat 20-0, and the community already hates him or something, which is a real possibility, and a superintendent or an athletic director gets mad because they look at it like he forfeited, and he goes, oh no, the umpires told us we had to do that. That way, just to cover yourself, make sure you just jot it down, whatever, maybe send an email in to Stephen or me, just to let us know. That way we have it on file. Then there you go, do it there. Either do it in the report in Arbiter or send an email to me or Stephen, and that way we just have it on file. Go ahead, Carl. Three. Right, and the John Tyler Jacksonville district, when they were in there with Lufkin and Whitehouse and all them, they had the same thing as well. So this isn't new to some of these guys, but this is also a lot different. So just if a coach walks, if it's predetermined at the plate meeting, that's one thing, but if a coach walks up to you after the 3rd inning and says, hey, we're getting beat 20-0, this is done, then put the report either in Arbiter or send one of us an email. That way we can just say, nah, here's what happened, and be done with it.
And if you do it by email, go ahead and give the date and the game, who was playing, coaches, everybody agreed in the bottom of the 3rd kind of thing. Okay? Are runners required to slide going into a bag? No. Okay? But if the runner elects to slide, he's got to slide legally. He's got to have his butt and his leg on the ground. Okay? So he can go in head first, or if he goes in feet first, he's got to have a legal slide. It can either be feet first, head first. If a runner slides feet first, at least one leg and the buttock shall be on the ground. Yes. Can it be behind the plate? Absolutely. Okay. So we've got a runner that slid into home, and the catcher, who got hit in the knee? He's got a shin. Okay, so the pitcher got cleated in the knee. Okay, hold that thought. It's on one of these slides. Next. All right. It's right there. Runners may not have their leg raised higher than the fielder's knee. Okay, that's an illegal slide. He didn't like that? Okay, that's an illegal slide. Okay? We're going to get the runner out on an illegal slide. okay? And that's going to be, is that going to be a dead ball? Is that going to be a live ball? That's going to be a dead ball, yeah. Correct. On the force play slide rule. On an illegal slide, you're not going to get 2 unless it's a force play slide rule. You're getting interference and getting out at first as well. Or if it's a 3rd and 2nd, you're getting 3rd and 2nd or 3rd and 1st, wherever the double play is going. No, you're getting the runner at first. You're getting the runner at first. That's what I meant. Batter runner. Okay? Nope, you can't pop up into the fielder. Okay? Everybody knows what a pop-up slide is? Okay? They can't go into the bag and pop up and interfere with the fielder trying to make a play on a second out. All right, except for home plate, runners may not slide past the bag. Okay? You can slide through the plate, obviously, but if you're sliding hard enough to go into, say, second base, I mean, they need to stop it before they lose touch with it. Okay? They can slide past it and they can grab a hold of it, but if they slide beyond it where they can't touch second base, then that's going to be, or slide through and make contact. Well, the backside's protected. The backside's protected. Okay, so if you slide through and you make contact with the shortstop who steps off, stands back, makes his throw to first, and you slide through and make contact with him, that's going to be an illegal slide. I can't tell where the base is. Yeah. If he's made contact with the fielder behind the bag, then that's an illegal slide. Correct. Correct. Now, if the shortstop, what you're not going to do is if the shortstop takes the throw, steps aside, and that guy slides through, you're not going to get him for an illegal slide there. Okay? If this is the bag right here, you've got a horseshoe of protection around that bag. Okay? If the player's here, you can slide over there, or you can slide over there, but you can't slide right here. Okay? If the player's behind the bag, you can slide over there, but you can't slide through it. Okay? Except at home. Okay? Just what I said. Runners may not slide away from the base in the direction of the fielder, but a runner may slide in the direction away from the fielder to avoid making contact or altering the play of the fielder. Okay? Whose job is it to see this? In a two-man system, your field guy is going to be looking to that play, getting what he's got, and he's going to be following what? The ball. If that ball doesn't leave, your eyes aren't leaving. But if he runs into that shortstop or whoever's covering second, and he hits him and the shortstop doesn't throw it, then go ahead and get it. Okay? If the shortstop throws it, follow the ball. Plate guy, this is where you got to be looking. You're going to come out. I like to come to the left side of the mound. Some people like to go to the right side. I'm going to the left side because if he doesn't get that out at second, I mean, it's going to be the fielder's call in third, but you'll have eyes on it if something happens at third. Okay? So if that fielder, if the field umpire follows that ball to first and you've got interference on this, then bang it. Jump out of your shoes and call it. Okay? The runner is out when he illegally slides on a forced play. The runner is also guilty of interference. The batter runner is also declared out, and all of the runners return to the base occupied at the time of the pitch. Okay? So we've got runners at first and third. Hits the ball to second base. Runner at first interferes with the shortstop covering the bag. He tries to throw to first. We're getting 2 outs. The guy at second on interference, the guy at first. And the runner was at third, who scored 15 seconds ago, was going all the way back to third. Time of the pitch. All right, baseballs. So we've always had to have, in the past, the NFHS authentication mark. This year, we're going to also need the NOXI mark on it, okay? So what we're doing is when we're getting baseballs at the beginning of the game, I mean, just glance at them. You're going to know you're going to start to know what they look like, what you're looking for. You don't have to actually read it. Glance at them, make sure you got it. If all the balls come from the same box, or if they all, if they hand you all the same brand new baseballs, white pearls or whatever, I mean, just look at one or two of them, throw them in your bag. That might only be all you get, but just look at them, glance at them, okay? Next. Chest protector or the body shirt. So catcher wears the chest protector, obviously, on the outside of his uniform, and it should have a NOXI certification typically up in this area, okay, the left shoulder. If it doesn't, then by rule, he's required to wear a NOXI certified body shirt underneath his uniform, okay? Now, what happens if he comes up and he doesn't have that NOXI? Are you going to say, hey, take off and let me see, make sure you got the, no. We're not going to undress the catcher, okay? That's taken care of at the plate meeting. Coaches, Coach, are your players all legally equipped? Coach, what I say is, Coach, are your players legally equipped according to rule? Coach, are your players legally equipped according to rule? Okay. Okay, get a yes. Don't get a I think so. Get a yes. Okay? That takes the liability off of you for making sure catcher's got his cup on, or the catcher's got that body shirt on, or everything's NOXI certified that needs to be. Okay? That just explains the body protector and why they put that in place. All right, all of the batting helmets, and this has been, all the batting helmets should have NOXI certification. All the catcher's equipment, the catcher's helmet, throat protector, everything has to have a NOXI certification on it. This is saying if they have the jawbone protector or the face protector on it, it's got to be one that is made for that helmet. Don't let somebody come out with one that they made in shop class screwed onto the helmet. That's not going to work. Okay? And hopefully you'll be able to tell. Okay? If it looks like it's supposed to be there, if it's the same material, looks like the fasteners are the way they're supposed to be, I mean, I'm not gonna take the helmet and go examine it, but you should be able to tell if it's not supposed to be on that helmet. All right, another point of interest, point of emphasis for this year is going to be the pitcher stance. Okay, so they've taken out. Well, we'll talk about the stretch in a little bit. When you're in the wind-up position, the legal position is you've got to have your pivot foot touching the rubber. Okay, and you take the front edge, that red line. You take that front edge of the plate and you draw a line. His non-pivot foot, the one that's not on the rubber, has to be within that red line. That make sense? On or behind. He cannot be in front of it. On or behind. He can do whatever he wants as long as it's on or behind, not in front. All right, in the stretch position, they changed. Well, let's just go this way. The set position of two legal pitching positions. For the set position, a pitcher shall stand with his entire non-pivot foot in front of the line extending to the front edge. So that same front edge, he's got to have his non-pivot foot completely in front of it in the stretch. Hold on, go back. Okay, and the pivot foot has to be in contact with the pitcher's plate. Now, if you get some fields, some of these old fields that have these big divots in front of it, in front of the pitcher's plate, okay? You're going to have coaches on first base and third base say, hey, he's not touching the rubber. Well, I mean, he could, but he's going to break his ankle, okay? So we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, if he's 4 or 5 inches off, then we might want to make a change. But the rule says he's got to be in contact or directly in front and parallel to the pitcher's plate, okay? So one of the changes for this, for 2020, next, is that you do not have to be fully within the width of the pitcher's rubber, okay? You can actually come off the side and have it with a toe. You can come off the other side and have it with a heel. You do have to still be in contact with it, but your whole foot doesn't have to be directly in front of it. Any questions about that? All right, so this is the one they're trying to get rid of. It's the hybrid stance, okay? You can't tell whether he's in a windup or he's in a stretch or set position, okay? You can't tell. So you're going to confuse the runner at third by doing a hybrid. And where do you catch this? You don't catch him in the 4th inning and say, hey, I think that's illegal, okay? When he goes out the very first time to warm up, you're paying attention. You're watching him, okay? Don't wait till he throws pitches in the 1st inning. If he's been doing that during his warm-ups, be proactive. Go out there and fix it. Go out there and talk to him, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm looking out at him. I'm saying, hey, fix your feet. If he doesn't pay attention, I'm going to tell the catcher, hey, go out there and tell him to fix his feet. If he doesn't pay attention, I'm going to say, Coach, he needs to fix his feet. This is all before the game even starts. Now, he throws a pitch and he's lined up like that. You've tried. You've done everything you could. Jewelry. Don't make me be the only bad guy on the field. Okay? This is a rule. Me and Jim. This is a rule, guys. Usually the last thing I say at the plate meeting, I don't say good luck. I'll say have a good game. Have a good game. Guys, will you make sure your players take their jewelry off before they come onto the field? Then you'll hear them say something. Hey, guys, get your jewelry off. Okay? You've done what you can do. If they come up to the plate, by rule, there are some ejection things that you can do. Don't do that. Time. Hey, take off your necklace. Oh, man. Coach, make sure all your players have their necklaces off. Take the jewelry off. Make it a point, one more time, verbally, in front of the fans and the players and everybody. Coach, make sure all your players has their jewelry off. Okay? I mean, you've done everything you can do. You're being nice, okay? You're managing the situation. By rule, you could eject, but don't, please. All right. Those were the rule changes and the points of emphasis for 2020. Jeff, next week we'll go over in depth the designated hitter rule, and we'll be able to answer any and all questions that you have. Okay, does anybody have any questions about any of the points of emphasis, rule changes right now? By rule, yes. But I'm making a fool of him again. Okay? Time. Take your jewelry off. Coach, I need you to. I mean, be stern about it. I'm going to the third base coach's box. That's why I'm doing that. Okay? If the head coach is in the dugout, turn to the dugout. Okay, but find the head coach and look at him and let him know you mean business. And you know what's happening in the other dugout? That coach is saying, dang, guys, make sure nobody has any jewelry on. Don't make me be the only one, me and Jim be the only one to do that. Please. Because we look like asses doing it. Nobody else enforces it. Huh? Say it again? Okay, so I'm the only one that's going to do it. That's fine. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Okay. Immediately. That's interference. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. That's all we got.
Thanks, Ron. I'm Steven. For those of y'all who weren't here last week, I don't know if we got anybody that wasn't here that's new, but I'm the assigner, the guy that tells you where to go umpire, and if you get emails from Arbiter, they typically come from me. Not a whole lot to report on my end tonight. If you do have an Arbiter account, and I think I added everybody that was new last week into Arbiter. If you had paid your Tasso State dues and you're a new person, I added you to our Arbiter. If you called another sport, you would have gotten an invitation from Arbiter to join our Arbiter. And if you were new to Arbiter, you should have gotten an email giving you instructions on how to get into Arbiter. If you got any of that stuff and you're having a hard time figuring out how to make it work, when the meeting's over tonight, come talk to me, and I'll try to help you with that. But it's really important that you get into Arbiter. Maybe next week or the week after, we'll have a deal for the new guys, and we'll look at Arbiter and how you go in and use it. You use Arbiter to tell me when you can and can't work, how far you're willing to go to work, and it's kind of your connection to me as the assigner. My goal is to give everybody in here as many games as I possibly can, because we have a lot of games and we have a lot less umpires in the room tonight than I was hoping were going to be here. We've got about 60 guys in Arbiter right now, and some of those guys I haven't seen yet this year, so I'm hoping they're coming back. But we've got a lot of games. Even though it's COVID, these coaches are scheduling just as many games as they did in past years. I mean, I can hold up the 2020 schedules next to the 21 schedules, and the teams have the same amount of games. The teams that always like to play a bunch, we have one team hosting 5 scrimmages this year. So, I mean, there's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. Some of it's kind of ridiculous. We have some teams that don't play a home game till March 19th. So, I mean, it just depends on how the team wants to do it. But get in Arbiter, check. You can go in and look at the master schedule right now, and you can see, I think there's 10 or 12 at least pages of games in there right now already, and I'm adding more every day. But get in there, look at it. If you have questions, I would love to help you with that. Did we talk about Saturday yet? Anybody talk about that yet? You want to talk about it, Cody, in a minute, or do you want me to talk about it? Go ahead. This Saturday at 1 p.m., Brook Hill, which is in Bullard, is having an inter-squad scrimmage. And we would love for especially as many first and second year guys that can be at that scrimmage to be there. We're going to have some veteran guys there to work as well. It'll be just like a scrimmage, but there's going to be multiple people there, and we want to rotate people through the bases, rotate people through the plate. We're going to hopefully be able to get some guys into cages where the pitchers are warming up, and let you just get reps in to get ready for the season. There's going to be one of those this week, and there's also going to be one the next 2 weekends. And so that's the 23rd, the 30th, and then the 6th. By the 6th, we'll also have regular scrimmages starting, so that one may look a little different. But this Saturday and next Saturday, if you're a first and second year guy and you can be there at about 12 p.m., that'll give us an hour to kind of get set up and get ready before they start, be at Brook Hill. If you have gear, bring your gear. If you don't have gear or if you don't have a uniform, come in whatever you want to wear. I don't care. Just show up on the field because we want to get you reps. It doesn't matter if you're in jeans and a t-shirt out there. But if you have your stuff, definitely bring it and wear it. But there'll be some instructor guys out there, some veterans that have worked a lot before, and we just want to help you learn how to umpire baseball. It'll be a great place to work and get some reps in before the real stuff started. You have something? You look concerned. Yeah, I'll send out a thing. I'll send out a link tonight that just has a little deal for you to let us know if you're coming or not to that. But we need to get some people there because Brook Hill thinks we're coming. So they've offered these scrimmages for us. And if you are a first or second year guy, it can be invaluable experience for you to be out there. If you have questions about that, you can talk to Ron or I before you leave tonight. A couple things that Ron mentioned, I heard him talking a little bit about ejections and reports and stuff like that, and we'll talk about that more when the season gets closer. But if you do have an ejection or if you do have something that happens at a game, please reach out to me, and you can reach out to Wes as well. Let us know if something happens at one of your games, because we've probably already heard from the coach before you talk to us about it, but we want to make sure that we know what's going on and we can help. Yeah, we want to make sure, because most likely we're going to have your back until we hear that you really screwed something up. But, I mean, we're going to come to your defense. But the best thing I can tell you to do, be honest about what happened. If you messed up, that's fine. We all mess up. We all make mistakes. But just be honest with us about it. But just don't lie. Don't lie. Tell us what happens, because if you say one side of the story and the coach says another, somebody's going to show up with a cell phone video of what actually happened. So be honest with us, and we'll be able to help you, because we want you to succeed. We want you to do the best that you can as an umpire. And that being said, a couple of just announcements. I'm in the middle of our state TASO board meeting right now that started the same time we started here. If you're a TASO member, you got an email at about 6:30 tonight saying the TASO test was now available. So that means the test is available. You have to take that test and pass that test in order to work baseball games. It's an open book test. You can take it, I think, as many times as you want. It may be 20, but that 20 is a lot, trust me. It's a whole lot. So we're here to help you with that test if you have questions. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's one score required for varsity games. I think it's an 85 gets you varsity games and playoffs. A 70 gets you on a JV field, I believe. Is that correct, Jim, to your best of your knowledge? I think it's a 70 that gets you, the playoff score and the varsity score are the same. So if you just basically make an 85, because if you're in this room, more than likely in the first rank, 80, okay. Make an 85, be an overachiever. But take that test. The online clinic will also be available. I was just talking to the guy that's making the online clinic. All the videos from our state meeting have been cut up into 4-minute segments for BrainShark. And all of that is available. The test and the online clinic is available if you log in at tasso.org to your TASO account where you first went in and you paid your TASO state dues. That's where you take your test and you do your clinic. Veterans, if you have not paid your TASO state dues, and there's several people in the room tonight that I know haven't, because we were looking at the list a few minutes ago, you have to pay your state dues before you can take the test and do the clinic. If you don't take the test and pass the test, I cannot put you on the field. So please, I need to put all of you on the field. So please do that for me. If you have any questions for me, did we mention the dues thing being adjusted? And it's been adjusted on the website again as well. So if you go to the website, you can PayPal $43 or get your dues paid. I'm going to fix that tonight. So the state meeting is the online clinic. That's what I just mentioned. It'll be available. Basically, if you do the online clinic, you're going to watch the exact same thing that we watched as the state meeting, but all the mess-ups that happened on the state meeting will be taken out. So you'll get a cleaner version of the state meeting that those of us got a little over a week ago. So it should take between 3 and 4 hours to finish that. There's 4 breakout sessions, a couple of informational things, and some other stuff like that. But the season's going to be here before we know it. Practices are starting. They started for TAPS already. They're starting for the UIL schools this Friday, I believe. So it's going to be here quick. But does anybody have any questions for me? Anything that I can help them with tonight? I like it. I'll get 100 texts after the meeting. I always do. But if you have anything you need to talk to me about when the meeting's over, I'll be back there standing in the back. You can come find me. Y'all have got my email address. You know how to text me. Y'all figured all that out. I appreciate you being here in person tonight, those of you that are here. The ones of you that are online, thank you for watching. If I can do anything for you, let me know. Do you have anything else, Wes? And our great president, Wes Hall.
Mike, you're good? Mike, you're good? You're good? Okay. Everybody turn around and see the old guy in the white hat back there? That's who you give your money to. All right, and he handles all that. One thing I want to cover just really quick, and then y'all can go. COVID protocols. So I'm going to use Mike as an example. He gets tested every 10 days so he can go see a family relative in the nursing home, okay? If for some reason you're doing this for work or whatever and you test positive for COVID, okay, but you are not sick, it's just basically the antibodies, okay? If you can test negative again, then you can come onto the field, okay? If you have COVID and you're actually sick, okay, and you go into your quarantine like you're supposed to, whatever the crap they make up. So you do that, when you're 3 days, it's 3 days, right? 3 days fever-free? 3 days fever-free, as long as your doctor has approved you and you're 3 days fever-free, then you can come back on the field. Am I saying that right? Yes, okay. So that's just, but it's up to you. If you've been sick, and you get over it, and you still just don't want to take a chance yet, that's fine. We understand. Let Stephen know. If you've been exposed, whatever, just work with us, guys. Another thing, if you're having financial hardship, please let us know, okay? As far as paying, if you're having trouble paying your dues to us locally, please let us know. And even if you're having trouble with the state, let us know. Let me or Stephen know. It'll be a private matter, and we'll get it squared away. We know that there's people that's hours have been cut, people are unemployed. There's a lot going on. We'll work with you however we can, okay? So just communicate with us. And other than that, that's all I got. Stephen's got one more. Y'all have a good week.
Something that's being brought up right now on the meeting I'm on for the state is the masks and things like that. When you take the state meeting, they have like a 20-minute presentation about COVID protocols. It's very exciting. It's like memorable. Yeah. One thing I would encourage, though, at the college level, they are going to make us wear masks. So you might try in scrimmages, if you want to, try wearing a mask and see what it's like, especially when you're working the plate, because when you work the plate, you're right there with the catcher. I mean, there's really no way to get socially distanced from him. So I would encourage you to try, because at some point we may have to. They could come in and change the regulation, so get used to doing it with one. On the bases, you're farther away. It's not as big of a deal. So, but I would just encourage you to try it, get used to it. Scrimmages are a great time to practice that kind of stuff. And you'll notice as you go to the different schools, there is some schools it's like COVID is the most serious thing on the planet. You go to other places and they've never heard of COVID. And you'll notice that as the season goes on. It's very different. So just try to be flexible with that. We didn't have any problems in the football season with that, but just it seems to be it's kind of ramping up right now. So just be careful with that. So that's all I got. We here to close it. We good to close it, Wes? We'll be back here, same place, same time next week, 5:30 and 6:30. Don't forget, on Saturday, I'll send out a Google form link for y'all to sign up to come Saturday. But if you are a first or second year umpire and you can be there on Saturday at noon, we'll start playing at 1, but that'll give us an hour to get ready, which is important. So please, please, please try to be there. It'll be a great thing for all of you. So that's all we got. See y'all, guys.